everybody, welcome back. We got a very special episode of Elev8 in store for you tonight. We're going to be doing an interview with Glyph Glass. But before we get on to that interview, we're going to hear a quick word from Steve.
What up, y'all? I'm really excited tonight. We got a cat coming out of here from Arizona called Glyph Glass. Holy mackerels. Man, if you like little characters, he is killing the game in characters. You gotta check him out. Super awesome. Can't wait to go see this guy. Anyways, take it away, Chris.
Thanks, Steve. That was super awesome, super fun. And now for our very special interview with Glyph Glass. Hey, man, how's it going? Thanks for joining with us. How long have you been behind the torch?
For about 5 years now, but combined, it hasn't been that long, maybe 3 years, just because it takes a lot of time to buy supplies and get your space and practice.
Definitely. Do you work in like a home studio, or do you like rent space somewhere or something like that?
I work out of a storage unit now, but I'm looking to get another studio space that's like a house or something.
Very cool. How did you get started blowing glass?
Well, I've always been an artist, so it's kind of just a logical progression. But I have a bachelor's degree in animation, and
nice.
I did a focus on sculpture, so I was making a lot of cartoon sculptures. And then right around that time when I was graduating, my little brother was a part owner of a smoke shop, and he had mentioned to me like, "Hey, why don't you start glass blowing?" So I was like, okay, well, I thought about it for a little bit and decided, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then from there, it took like a year and a half just to get everything I needed to get started.
Nice.
But after that, as soon as I had everything, I was just working like outside in my backyard, and I would just like take down my torch every night when I was done with it and put it back up the next day when I needed to use it, and had a battle with the sun and the wind and my buddy Sonar, he gave me 2 lessons on how to make a hand pipe and how to do an implosion marble and a chillum. And then everything after that, I just taught myself and did research.
Very cool. You ever taken any classes or anything like that before?
No. I taught high school classes before I started doing glass blowing.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was teaching art classes. I was teaching sculpture classes before I actually started to get into glass blowing. So, I was a teacher, but I hadn't taken any classes on glass blowing. But that being said, I just did all the research I could. I found like every video on YouTube, several different books, a lot of the Corning Museum of Glass. They have a ton of videos. I watched Salt and Eugene, and watched the lectures from Bill Gudenrath, where he talks about like 5,000 years of glass blowing history, and like try to like pull out whatever information I can from that.
Yeah, that's one thing that's super nice about getting started in the glass into glass blowing in this era, is the knowledge is just so accessible. I've talked to plenty of people doing these interviews who started like back in the late 90s, and they were like, man, we had 5 colors and nobody knew anything about how to work them.
Right. Yeah, a lot of it's just trial and error too, is you don't really even after all of the research I did, you don't really know how the glass reacts or have a second nature about it until you've used it a dozen times over and see how it cracks and see what it looks like once you pull it out of the kiln.
Yeah, learn the things that it does and its tendencies and all that. You mentioned that you did other art. What other mediums of art did you do besides the animation?
Well, I started off with just drawing, sketching and drawing, and then got into painting. And then in college, I started as advertising art and marketing. So I did like a year and a half of marketing, advertising art, and then I switched over to the animation program and finished off animation with a focus on sculpture.
Oh, nice.
And then, when I was a senior in high school, I didn't actually start sculpting anything until I was a senior in college. So, I was, how old was I? 24. And I was like 24, and I hadn't even sculpted anything, like almost anything in my life until I was 24. And then a couple years later, I started glass blowing. So
nice. Oh, nice. And you definitely seem to have like a sort of a focus on sculpture with your glass work.
Yeah, the animation definitely helped because, like, when you do animation, you have to draw all the characters from all the different angles, and it like really helps you wrap your brain around a 3D object.
Yeah, it's a really like interesting pathway into the glass industry. I don't think I've ever heard anybody go animation and then glass.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, it like makes sense though. It's very cool.
Yeah, a lot of people get in just because they know someone who makes pipes or bongs, and I came from the other side. Like, I'm not even interested in making pipes or bongs really. Like, I make good money, and like I'm constantly busy with just making pendies.
Yeah, you make some amazing pendies, amazing characters, and you can see how like your passion for animation. You do like all those animated characters. You translate them into glass. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I got one right here. One of my latest ones. If you recognize them.
Oh, nice, Rocco. That's awesome. I love that skateboard.
On a skateboard, yeah. And the skateboard's got a little retro 80s design on it.
I like it. It's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
What sort of things did you start making when you first got behind the torch?
Well, yeah, I definitely had different periods of like, wherever your interest takes you. I started off by making just marbles, mushroom implosion marbles and dot implosion marbles. And then I got into making some flowers. And I was like trying to make flowers and like leaves. And then after that, I got really into eyeballs and like how to make a bunch of different types of eyeballs. And then like I try to focus on how to make like the most realistic eyeball I can so that you could actually look through the center of it and there's like an empty space behind there. So it actually looks like it has depth, like with the iris and everything.
Yeah.
And then after that, I got into doing elephants. And then after elephants, that evolved into Ganesh, doing the Ganesh jars and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I want to do Ganesh is because like it was one of the hardest images I could think of. Like I was trying to do the most detailed thing that I could possibly do. And Ganesh is one where you could just keep layering more and more and more and more. And it's just a super detailed form. So it'll take, as much detail as you want to put onto it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then after Ganesh, it was kind of shaped by the market after that, where like just like what people were buying. So I started to develop my honeycombs after that.
Right.
That's kind of my signature style now is the honeycombs and bees and drips.
Nice.
So that's kind of what now is my most current point is honeycombs, but I also do all different types of I feel like I can do almost anything as a pendant now.
Yeah.
So from the really deep, the real simple. So you know, I have a whole bunch that I make for. I have two different main buyers, and one I do premium pindies for, and the other one I do small little pindies that go inside candles for puff spindy melts.
Nice. They're amazing. I love puff spindy melts.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, I've sold puffs probably at least 800, 900 pindies at this point.
Dang. Heck yeah. That's awesome. You do a lot of like custom stuff. How does like the process go about for a custom piece? Do people just like hit you up and ask for something and you're like, I can do that, I can't do that? Or
yeah, pretty much. You know, I get a lot of people telling me that, you know, it's pretty easy. You know, I don't know how other people do it, obviously, but people just hit me up and they ask if I can do something. Usually I can do it. And my wait times are usually right now anywhere between 3 days and 14 days, just depending on how many I have on my calendar at any given time. My two main buyers, as soon as I'm done, they place another order. So I always have something like 140 pindies in stock, and then everybody else has to fit in between those 140 pindies. But you know, I get everybody's pindy within in the mail between like 3 and 14 days.
Nice. That's a really good turnaround. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I do it full time now, so you know, I can spend 8 or 9 hours a day, 3 to 6 days a week, or something like that.
Heck yeah! How long have you been full time now?
Well, I've been doing only glass blowing for about 2.5 years now.
Nice.
But for 2 years, a little over 2 years, I was only working part-time doing glass blowing.
Gotcha.
I paid all my bills, but I was only able to work part-time because of all my other things I had to do.
Yeah.
Now my schedule has changed, so I can actually work full 8 hour days. So before I was working like 6-7 days a week, 4 hours at a time. And now I'm working like 3 or 4 days a week, 8-9 hours at a time. So
nice. You're able to maximize those hours and really crush it out. Do you have a favorite color to work with?
Oh yeah. There's my favorite one probably would be a teal.
Nice.
There's lots of different teals, just because they're they pop really well against any other color. And they're super stable.
Mm-hmm.
Blues in general are really stable.
Nice.
But I'd probably have to say, yeah, it's probably a teal and amber purple. I use
Classic.
a ton of classic, yeah. I use a ton of crayon colors, like cartoon colors, basically.
Yeah, I gotcha. Speaking of teal, that just reminded me of a piece that stuck out to me when I was scrolling through your page getting ready for this. It was like a Japanese style mask with like big sharp teeth and like exaggerated features and like earrings and everything.
Oh yeah, the Oni style mask.
Yes, that's the word, Oni style. Did that like sort of come from the Ganesh idea, or is that something like totally separate that just came about differently?
Yeah, I mean, the way I kind of work is I kind of go with the flow. I have so many things that I have to do. So whenever something pops in my mind that I want to do, I'll just shift over and do that one thing. So it doesn't get like lost, or, you know, I don't get stressed out about what I have to do. So it allows me just to like stay creative and do what I want. And with my premium pindies, I can make whatever I want. So that allows me to, you know, express myself. But with the smaller items, they're usually like for a certain holiday or You know, sometimes I do random ones for puffs penny melts, but recently I just did Valentine's Day and Christmas.
Nice.
I'm just about to do some St. Patty's Day items.
Very cool. I missed this one, but I forgot to ask you, what is your least favorite color to work with?
Oh, well, there's several of those. Let's see. I mean, anything that boils real easily, you know, second quality glass and stuff that's, you know, got stones in it or something. But let's see, what's really hard to work with. Some of the sparkly glasses are kind of hard to work with sometimes. Like
Yeah.
you check a lot, like sparkly green, unobtainium. Doesn't really want to be encased too well. So, you know, those ones I kind of use by themselves. So I use like a single color object or something with those, just so I'm not mixing compatibility.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna use a special glass like that too, I usually do like a day just for that, so I can have. Sometimes those special glasses with the metals in it, you can't have them in the kiln for too long or at too high of a temperature, or else they'll check. So you can only do just those at a time. So you know, especially just do all of those on one day, so your kiln is set up just for that.
That makes sense. You work smart with it to minimize the risk factor. Do you have a favorite character or style that is your current favorite right now that you do?
Well, I mean, I always like making the Ganeshas. Any kind of cartoon character is fun to do. You know, I mean, there's a lot that I want to make, but a lot of the times it's just driven based upon what people are ordering. I like doing the zombies a lot, just because like I can kind of do whatever I want with them. There's not really a way to mess up.
Yeah,
You know?
that makes sense.
Even if I mess if I had the eye and I messed the way I originally want it, I can just put some blood on it and have it be a bloody eye. Like,
Yeah.
Really any way you can mess up the zombies except for like trapping a weird bubble in there or something. But if you build it in the right way, you won't trap any bubbles.
That makes sense. Where like your accidents become what's it? Like Bob Ross says, like happy little accidents, where it becomes something that makes the piece even cooler.
The what with the accents?
They're like happy little accidents, like Bob Ross says, where like the accident makes it even cooler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I try to fold in extra detail into the bars before I work it, so that there's extra like smaller details and stripes in the piece.
Nice. Is there anything that you've tried once and then we're like, nope, never again?
Well, there's things that my current setup won't allow me to do. There's nothing I don't think that I don't want to do again, but there's things I currently can't do.
For sure.
Because most people use tanked oxygen. While I happen to use a oxygen generator. Now I have the best one that you can have, and you know, it's like it was like $2,000 when I bought it, and I think it's like $3,000 now. So the price has gone up on it. So it's enough to run my two torches. I have a little mini torch and a larger torch and a little hand torch. And I can run all of them just fine. It's just that the pressure is not as much as a tanked oxygen. It's only 20 psi, whereas a lot of glass blowers work from like 40 to up to even like 65 psi. So that's one of the reasons why I only work smaller items. But it's kind of been a blessing in disguise, because it's forced me to focus on details, smaller details, that I may have not otherwise.
Yeah, I gotcha. It makes you have to expand upon what you have within that like small sort of
Yeah. So,
canvas, I guess.
getting to your question is, it's hard for me to work dichro without burning it out.
Mhm.
It's hard to do fuming efficiently. I can do fuming, but it's hard to do it efficiently.
Mhm.
And it's hard to work larger items. You know, the bigger the item, the more I have to put it into the kiln and stop and bathe it in the flame, just to keep it all from cracking.
Nice. Um, what sort of ideas do you have in the works right now for the future?
Well, I have an apprentice. I just got an apprentice, so
Nice.
I'm gonna be, I've been teaching him, and he's been buying supplies and everything. He's already got a torch and making stuff. You can check him out on Instagram at it's B_chill glass, B_chill_ glass.
Cool.
And
Nice.
he just got his page going. I don't think he has like 1 or 2 posts up on it right now. So, but that's one thing. And then I'm gonna be hopefully moving into a new studio pretty soon. Right now my studio is like 40 minutes away from my house, so it takes me a long time to get over there and back and everything. So I'm working on getting a studio that's like 5-10 minutes away from my house, so that makes things much more efficient. I can work later and earlier and later.
Yeah, that makes sense. That also makes sense why you say that you're doing longer shifts, less days of the week.
Yeah. And other than that, I was teaching glass blowing, intro to glass blowing at the Sonoran Glass School. That's here in Tucson, over on 18th Street and on I-10. And they've had a school there for decades now. It was co-founded by Glyph Glass. But they're still open, but they've had limited capacity and limited hours due to the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
The last major thing was the last flame off they had there last February that coincides with the gem show. And the gem show that we have here is like the world's largest gem show. So there's people here from all over the world. And then there's the flame off at the glass school every year, right in the middle of it. But this year it's canceled for the first time in like 20 years or something.
Wow. Have you ever competed in the flame off before? Or?
Yeah, I competed for the last 3 years.
Heck yeah.
Or last 4 years.
Nice.
Either 3 or 4 years. The first year I didn't place. The second year, I got second place, and the third year, I think I didn't place last year either. It was real tight competition last year. We had a lot of good entries. I think Hick Dog took the gold. The year before last, and then the very last year, I think it was what was her name? I'm blanking on it. I'll have to remember and get back to you on that one. But she works with Hick Dog all the time.
Windstar,
that's who. She won last year, Windstar. And then Hick Dog the year before that, and I came in second under Hick Dog.
Nice.
And then the year before that one didn't place. My piece didn't actually even. The first year, my piece didn't actually make it. It shattered.
Oh, that's one thing about those that blows my mind about those live competitions is that you can just fail completely.
Yeah, in front of everybody.
Yeah, with an audience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to keep going. Just pick up and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. But is that like one of the main glass events down there?
Yeah. That's probably the biggest and the longest running. But we actually have a pretty good glass scene down here. There's lots of glass artists, and there's one particular glass artist that has a bar on in our downtown area called Mr. Heads.
Oh,
And
nice.
I don't know if you've heard him before, but his name is Micah Glass. I don't know if
That
his name
sounds
is
familiar.
Micah, but he's been glass blowing for 20 years or something. But there's a glass blowing studio in the bar.
Oh,
So
wow.
you can be hanging out, drinking, and then just look through a big glass window, and there's a setup with 5-6 torches and a big kiln. There's even a lathe in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he has events like periodically. Obviously, this last year, everything's been fucked up, but prior to that, there was at least a couple events there every year.
Nice, nice. Do you still find that you have the same love and passion as when you first started?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm more busy than ever. So I just make sure that I get all the things that I have to make done and save time for the things that I want to make. And the things that I want to make end up selling. And a lot of the times, those things that I want to make have become those things that people want to keep buying.
Something that people ask for.
Exactly. Like I made a bunch of the Roccos. I've made a bunch of Gengar Evolution Pindies.
Nice.
I've made a bunch of Aku masks from Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
I made a ton of the honeycombs. I have hundreds of the honeycombs and little honey jars.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, I like to make anything, you know. I especially like to make things that I made a long time ago and I haven't made it in a while to see like how much better I've gotten since I made it originally.
Yeah, the way how you can apply your new skills and new understanding and everything to something that you've made several years ago. That's one thing that I really like about just like art in general, not even just glass, is that you can the physical, like being able to see like, oh, I wasn't very good, and I'm pretty good now. Like with a sport and things like that, you can feel or sort of tell like that you got like your skill level's improving. But with like an art form, it's just the physicality of being able to go side by side with things that are like even just 2 years apart and just be like, look at that difference. It's pretty special.
Right. Yeah, and I think one of the most attractive things for me for having glass as an art form is its longevity. You know, theoretically, as long as these pieces don't get broken, 5,000-6,000 years from now, all my pieces could still be around.
Yeah.
In a museum or buried in some cataclysm, you know, whichever comes first.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely something that you don't really think about is how long like a piece of glass from like we look at glass from ancient Rome and stuff, and it's what 2,000 years old. And,
I have a bead from Pompeii.
Oh, nice.
I have a little black bead that was rolled in a multicolor frit from Pompeii that somebody gave to me a long time ago.
That's very cool. That's very special. Well, shoot, I think I'm just about out of questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I don't know. Just you know, the next year for me is really I probably will start making pipes and rigs. But that's really going to depend on me on this next setup, really.
Mm.
You know, if it's residential, if it's commercial, if it's a warehouse, how close it is, if I can get oxygen in and out of there reliably. So, a lot of logistics, there's a lot of places that don't like you to do glass blowing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to find a place. Just find a place that's okay with it. So, that's more than half the battle right there. So, but, I have several other people who might want to go in with it and get a bigger studio or something too. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully bigger and better things coming your way. That sounds like you've got some plans working in your head.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I on my page today, actually, or yesterday, I just broke 7,500 followers. So
nice.
I'm gonna do a giveaway for that probably tomorrow. Today or tomorrow, I'm gonna do the posting for the giveaway. And after that, it's just gonna be just trying to get my apprentice up to speed so he can start pumping out smaller items and everything, and just keep on pumping out these pieces. So you can check out right now. You can check out my work on my page, and you can contact me directly from my page through the DMs. It goes down in the DM.
Sure does.
You can check out all my premium pendies. You can get X Fade or Tucson Tokers on Instagram. And then for all my smaller pendies, you can check out Puff's Pendy Melts. And they do a bunch of different runs. They have a bunch of different amazing artists they feature. But you can ask for me specifically if you want to get some of my work from them.
Heck yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us and doing this interview with us. Everybody check out his work on Instagram at Glyph Glass. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome day, man. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks.
Heck yeah, dude. That was awesome. Thank you so much. That was perfect. It was super fun to talk with you, man.
Right on. Well, you got the first on video interview, so.
Nice. Heck yeah. Well, we're glad to have you. Like I said, we'll get that edited up, and then in a couple of weeks or so, we'll shoot a copy over to you if you'd like to post that wherever, or if you just want to keep it for yourself. We'll tag you in it, obviously, once it goes up on our page and everything. Shoot a logo, if you can, via email in reply to the invitation for this, and we'll be able to pop your logo up in the corner. And then, yeah, like I said, we'll just take some pictures of some cool pendies and stuff from your Instagram page. So while we're talking about Ganeshus or the Aku-Akus or whatever, we'll pop them up so that people can see.
Cool.
I think that's just about it. Thanks again for doing this with us, man. We really appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah, man. I mean, anything that can help the scene right now, especially with like COVID fucking everything up.
Yeah.
I was just getting some glass the other day, and I heard this old school glass blower who is this old man now. I'm sure he's in his like 60s.
Yeah.
But for the past 20 years, all he's done is just travel around all the different festivals and make little dragons and like little unicorns and whatever else people wanted. The little glass, just clear mostly. But he was saying that like all his work's gone. Basically, he's got like one or two places that he's driving to, totally different parts of the state, just to sell some stuff. So it's definitely hard for people who don't have internet presence.
Definitely. And that's what we're trying to do with this is lift up the littler guys, highlight the bigger guys, and just build this amazing like catalog of awesome interviews of showing off, because all of these glass blowers that we get to talk to are just amazing people, amazing conversation. It's always cool to hear like their different unique stories of how they got into it. Like yours, for example, is super unique, and it's super awesome. So really, thanks again, man, for doing this with us.
Man.
You're helping us make something awesome. We appreciate it. enjoy your weekend, dude. Thanks again to Glyph Glass for that super awesome interview. It was really fun to get to talk with him. Before we get out of here tonight, though, we're going to hear a quick word from Elev8 Dolls.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Teresa here with Elev8 Dolls. Thank you, Chris, so much for having me on tonight. I really enjoy watching all the glass blowers and listening to how they blossomed into the people they've become. My favorite question is when you ask them what's next. What are they going to do for the next 20 years? I always love to hear when people have goals. In fact, one of my goals is to grow Elev8 Dolls as big as we can across this world. What is Elev8 Dolls? Elev8 Dolls is a movement. It's a movement of women living a higher state of mind, body, and spirit who really want to experience this cannabis world, or just the world that evolves around it, the alternative lifestyle, with us. So what we do is we offer a brand ambassador program. That brand ambassador program gives you a coupon in order to purchase any of this stuff. It also gives you the option to pretty much be your own business and sell this stuff as well. What you see here is not all that we have available. There is so much more. I really would love the chance to talk to you, and I appreciate that you're listening to me tonight. So if you would like some more information on how to earn some money with Elev8, please DM or go to elev8dolls.com. Thank you, and elevate mind, body, and spirit.
Thanks, Elev8 Dolls. Make sure to go check out that brand new website, elev8dolls.com, to learn how to become an Elev8 doll yourself. Now we're going to hear a little bit from Elev8 veterans.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks again, Chris, for having us. I'm John with Elev8 Veterans, and I'm just here to remind you guys, we got all this cool stuff and all these cool opportunities. If you're a veteran in the community and you guys are looking for somewhere to hang out, Elev8 is your place. As you can see, we got a kind of thing for everybody here. No matter what community, what stroke of life you're in, you're always welcome here. So if you guys have some free time and you want to come learn about what Elev8 Veterans is doing and how we can help you, come on down, dude. We got plenty of time, and if you'd like to volunteer, offer up some of your time as well, we'd love that too. So hopefully see you guys soon. Take it easy.
Thanks, Elev8 veterans. Before we get out of here, it's Friday night. No Friday night would be complete without a little smoke sesh, so we're going to do a quick product demo for you guys.
What's up, Elev8 fam? Johnny here. I work at the warehouse as a wholesale account executive. If you guys want to join, please look into our brand ambassador program. It's really fun. It's another Friday here, so sesh time. And this week's sesh, I wanted to bring out the Dab Bat, show off our product here. This is our Dab Bat dab straw. This thing is sick. And the reason why, it's a borosilicate body. There's a silicone cap, and then there's a retractable quartz tip there. And so as you see, that goes in. And like I said, this is quartz glass. So borosilicate body, quartz glass top, boom, puts it right back there. Simple, right? The beauty of it is say you're going to a show, a 3-day show, which before all of this craziness happened, those were things like that. Or say you want to bring it on the go with you and you're going on a hike. This is the perfect way to now be able to consume with a dab bat, because that is my preferred way of consumption is dabbing. And dab straws are the most conservative way to hit your dabs. So it's a fun way to bring it with you. So Friday, thanks for letting me join the Elevated 8. Time to sesh, I guess, right? And so the thermal range on this quartz tip is way different too, so it makes it much better glass at dealing with these temperatures. So less likely to crack when you heat it up. And I got here my honey bucket with some concentrate in it. As she rips like a champ. And then the magic happens. Boom. Now I can put it in my pocket and be on my way. Thanks for letting me join. Elevate mind, body, and spirit, everybody.
Thanks so much to you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks to Glyph Glass for doing that interview. And we'll see you next week with another awesome episode.